Hey everyone, welcome to the Rebellious Garden. My name is Laura and I'm so glad you're here today. I am coming out back into the garden to do this video with you, kind of a look at our plans for 2025. I can't wait to share my thoughts with you. It is a beautiful day. It is in the 60s. It is January. That is a typical North Carolina winter. We had snow a couple days ago and now we're already up into the 60s. So I'm going to show you the garden while using my note card for more organized thoughts, because that's one of my goals this year, is to present a more organized video and thought process. There'll still be plenty of chaos, I can assure you, but more organized thought process on my thoughts and kind of what we're doing. So let's get started. A little weird angle. You're hanging on one of my fence panels because my arm gets tired holding up the little tripod. So you're gonna hang up here and you can see in the background right there, hey, it's a little pointer. We have tulips. Yeah, so we are, I don't know, today's January 28th and we have tulips growing. Yeah, so we will be in tulips soon and I can't wait. Yay. When I see things like that, it really it refreshes me, because the winter months can be cold and dark, and I'm very much like an outside, I love having my hands in the dirt kind of person. The cool thing about where we live is I can have my hands in the dirt almost year round. This year was the exception. I have never had to dig into frozen dirt before, and yeah, I had to do that this year. So that was different and interesting and very cold, and I don't want to do that again. So we had a very, very cold, extended period of cold. Usually we'll have a few days of like super cold temps, but this was an extended period of time. But everything is looking great out here. I'll give you a quick little tour of that later. But let's talk about our thoughts for 2025. So I'm going to be referencing my note card so I don't go off on to a little ramble, and this will be quick because the sun is setting and I have food in the house that needs to get cooked. So plus my battery on my phone's dying because I've been using a lot today. So here we go. So one of the first things I want to focus on in 2025 is health and happiness. So this is not just for me, but it is for my family and those that I surround myself with. I have a very small bubble that I'm close to. I believe it is quality over quantity when it comes to friends. And so I just want to make sure everyone, including myself, is healthy and happy, whether it is physically, mentally, financially, whatever. That is going to be one of my big focuses this year. That is a personal goal. And I fully believe that your personal goals definitely roll over into the success of your business and your business goals. So health and happiness. Over the past few months, I've never been like a super unhealthy eater. Yeah, I like to snack. I love sweet stuff, obviously, but it's not like a regular thing for me. So I've been working through some things, trying to get myself healthy mentally, and in turn it's helping me get healthy physically, which is really awesome. So I've been refining my eating, really feeding my body. What you feed your body, you feed your brain. So I've been feeding my body a lot healthier foods. We've been working really hard over the past several months to cut out a lot of processed foods. So I use a lot of like organic, unbleached flours and things when I'm making breads. I've started, I've attempted, it didn't do too good, but I'm still keep trying to make our own pasta, because when you sit down and you compare the ingredients of homemade versus what you buy in the store, the ingredient list is so much smaller and easier to read. Very much easier to read. So yeah, so we're doing that, and that's really, I feel better all over. I have more energy. I cut out caffeine, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, I love coffee. I still treat myself once a week when I go to the market. I always stop and get me coffee, because you got to treat yourself every once in a while. If you completely deny yourself, you're going to end up binging. At least in my history, I do. I got flour on my shirt. Sorry, I was cooking bread. But as far as daily coffee, sometimes 3 times a day, yeah, that's gone. I've seen a big change in my personal health just by cutting out the coffee, because I don't do straight coffee. I put like sweet cream and stuff in it, and that's just not good for you. I've started exercising regularly. That has really helped, definitely with overall feeling. mental, physical, everything. I feel so much better since I started exercising more regularly. I feel stronger, kind of starting to feel like my old self again, which is really cool. Let's see, I talked about that, rest. Something that I did this winter, and I told my husband a lot, I was like, I feel like I should be doing something. Like, just sitting here, chilling. Like, I need to be up doing something. And he's like, no, you should rest. Rest. You'll have plenty of time to do stuff during the summer. You're going to be busy. Like, take this month, like 1 month, to just rest. And I did. And I have really prioritized going to bed earlier. I am very much a night owl, so that has been difficult, but we're getting better. If I go to bed earlier, I can get up earlier, a little easier. Still not easy, but it's getting there. So yeah, so we're doing that, and prioritizing rest, not having to constantly be doing something throughout the day, and taking a few minutes to just sit and chill. It's been kind of nice. I've enjoyed it. It's also given me more time with my family, which I enjoy that too. Another thing that I'm refocusing energy on this year, I used to grow a ton of food right here. So this is my backyard garden. My husband built these beds for me, started not too long after we moved up here. I grew up on a farm, and we have fresh vegetables, and I missed having fresh vegetables. And so my husband built these beds for me for Mother's Day, and then every year thereafter we kind of added one until like more than half of our backyard is garden beds. It's not a bad thing. So over the past few years of trying to expand our flower operations, my flowers have taken over these beds, and I haven't grown very much for my family and I as far as fresh produce. So I want to really refocus on the vast majority of my flowers being out there in the field, and then focusing this to go back to being our growing our own produce. There'll still be things that I grow here, like our lisianthus. They didn't do too well on the field last year because of the heat and the direct sun. I get indirect sun back here, and our lisianthus that I did have growing here did better. So I'm still gonna have some flowers here, but most of them will be out in the field. And so this will all be for vegetable production, and I'm very happy about that. So that's kind of the focus on the health and happiness. Speaking of the field, my goals for the field, we have added another row this year to expand our operations. So we're going to expand the grow area this year. I'm excited about that. I'm going to focus really hard this year on building up the soil. I'll share later on in another video how I plan to do that. The land that we grow our flowers on isn't our land. We have a man that is very generous in allowing us to grow there. So I'm very careful about what I do out there. But I do want to build my soil up, because when you have happy, healthy soil, you have happy, healthy plants, and they grow bigger and more beautiful. And I don't like using synthetic fertilizers and things like that. I try to use very natural ways to build my soil and to fertilize my plants. So we're gonna put a more strong focus on that this year. I'm gonna work smarter, not harder. The field nearly killed me last year. If you saw my previous video, we had a lot of family emergencies. The weather was not good to us last year, and I spent a lot of time just on maintenance out there. So you'll see in future videos, some of the things that we've done is reduce the area that we're having to mow. In doing this, actually reduces the pest pressure on our plants, because I'm not using pesticides and stuff. I'm using natural ways to control pests. Reducing the grasses that are growing around the plants helps into reducing those pests, or the pest pressure on the plants. So I'll show you that when I go back out to the field next, which will probably be next week, because we're really going to start getting it ready for planting. And so I'll do a video then and show you that. So one thing that we're doing there is putting row covers down between the rows. A lot of commercial producers do this, and it reduces pest pressure. It reduces disease in your plants too. And it helps with cleanup and stuff a lot easier. We got permission from the landowner to clear out some of the brush that has grown up around the field. That'll reduce pest pressure as well. So I'm excited about that. Another thing that I'm going to do out there is pulling my plants sooner. One thing I have a really hard time doing, and right here in front of me, I have dead dahlias, and I've yet to cut the branches. When you're growing in a small area, you have to be kind of cutthroat, and you have to pull your plants like as soon as they slow production, you got to rip them out and have another plant to go in its place. And I have a hard time doing that. I'm like, oh, it's still producing. No, I gotta get better about that. So that's something I'm gonna improve on. That way we can keep production going regularly as well. Speaking of the flowers, I want to keep a log of what we're growing. I know what we grow, but I want to keep a log of the specific varieties, where the seed came from, and how well they performed. I know my care of those plants, our weather, our soil, and all that contributes, but also the genetic of the seed contributes to that. So I want to start keeping a log of that, just to kind of make sure we're investing our money in seed in the right place and getting high quality products. Seed schedules, I want to start seeds on a regular seed schedule. This is something I already do. I kind of fell off of it last year just with everything that went on. It got me kind of off schedule. So this year I want to really commit. I have got my notebook out, and if you saw my Facebook page, I talked about how I was putting my notebook or doing my calendar, which looks like a notebook. It's huge. And I was putting my seed start dates in, but I also asked people to send me scripture and stuff, like their favorite Bible verse. And each week I would put that scripture, so I would read it and also pray for that person that week. So I've got that. I'm excited about that. That's another thing I'm doing with focusing, backtracking a little bit, focusing on health and happiness, is I'm really trying to renew my relationship and focus more on God. So yeah, so excited about that. I'm going to grow more flowers than I've ever grown before. This is a very ambitious goal. I scaled back a lot over the past year because the year before that, 2023, it got to be overwhelming, the number of flowers I grew. Last year I learned a lot. I kind of refined the practice, and I was scared of growing too many and having excess that were going to go to waste. Something I'd done in years past was sell my seedlings, and I did not do that last year in an effort to save just time for me. And I'm not gonna sell like a ton of seedlings, but when I'm out planting and stuff, if I see that I'm gonna have a lot of extra seedlings, then I'm gonna share them with friends, family, and neighbors, like I've always done. I've always gifted, friends, family, and neighbors seedlings, and then anything left over I'll post up here, or not up here on YouTube, but on my social media sites, and take them to the market with me for sale as well. So if you don't follow my social media, Facebook and Instagram, and I have a TikTok, but I don't post up there much, but the same name as my channel here, The Rebellious Garden and Flower Farm, on Facebook and Instagram. I give almost daily updates there, just little things that could be just like, hey, look, the tulips are sprouting. But I'll also post seed sales, and if we're having pop-up events, it's all put up there. So make sure you follow on those pages. Let's see, I want to host more bouquet bars this year. Something I talked about in my 2024 video was the previous years we sold flowers at 2 other locations aside from the market, and I want to get back into those locations. I kind of fell out last year with everything that went on. I wasn't able to get flowers to them regularly like I wanted to, but I'm committed to doing that this year. That way people local to me can get their flowers at a more convenient date, time, and location. So I'm going to focus on getting that done. I want to expand the flowers that we offer at the Harbor District Market. I love selling there. I've met some wonderful people there, made some great contacts, and so I want to keep going there and having plenty to offer up there. I do want to refine what we offer. I don't want to have like a cluttered booth or anything at the market. So I want to kind of scale down and refine what we offer and really focus on the things that the people really like. And that way it's also not overwhelming to the consumer when they come into the booth and they're like, oh my gosh, there's so much to look at, and it overwhelms them and they walk away. Sometimes less is more. So I'm going to do that in the market. Speaking of social media, I'm going to increase my posting, and I want to make them more engaging. I'm hoping that not just my customers, but people that follow my social media pages are more engaging on the social media sites, as well as up here on YouTube. I want to post videos more regularly, kind of show you a start to finish of my season, which is technically year round because I'm doing something almost the entire year for the flower farm. But I want to show you a start to finish of the season, how I start in the spring and how we go all the way through to the frost. So I want to give you that, but also something that a lot of people like that I did. I can't remember if I did it last year or year before last. I did a handful of videos, but it was a day in the life. So I called it a day in the life of a part-time flower farmer because I have a full-time job outside the farm and a part-time job outside the farm. And so the flower farm is kind of something else I do. So I kind of showed people like my start to finish on different days and how they look. And it varies day to day, week to week, season to season. So I want to start that back up because a lot of people really enjoyed those videos. That's kind of just a quick little thought process on what I want to do this year, what I want to accomplish. One of the things with increasing sales, increasing offerings, increasing my social media and my YouTube presence is the hope of monetizing my YouTube and social media. That would be phenomenal. But also just to increase revenue. I really want to work hard on saving up and being able to purchase my own land, because in doing so, I know that won't happen this year as far as being able to save up enough money to do that, but I want to at least start getting that saved up. I want to purchase my own land because there's a lot more I can do when it's my own property. There's structures I can put on it. There's more as far as the flowers that I can offer, more perennials and stuff that I can grow. I want to be able to do that. And as far as building the soil, I really want to invest time and money in my soil, and I want to do so on land that I own. So that's a goal for the future, but for right now I'm perfectly happy where we're at. I'm so appreciative of the family that lets me grow on that property. I absolutely love it. It's beautiful, and it's just really helping me learn this whole process over the past few years. So I'm forever grateful for them, and I hope I can continue out there for a few more years. That would be lovely. But yeah, that's kind of my thought process for 2025. My goals moving forward. Yeah, so here's to 2025. Here's to just doing our best. Doing our best. That's all we can do, right? So yeah, how about let's take a look at the garden here at my house, and in a future video when I go out to start working on the field, I'll show you what the field looks like. Like I said, it's January 2028. We had just shy of 5 inches of snow last week. This time it started snowing Tuesday night, and this is Tuesday a week later. The snow finished melting off a few days ago, and as you can see, our yarrow completely unfazed, growing, happy. That anemone does not look too happy. I'm gonna let it grow a little bit, and if it still looks sickly, I'm gonna go ahead and yank it because I don't want to spread disease. Remember I talked about having dahlias over here I needed to pull? Right there. Speaking of anemones, I have a little anemone friend poking through. Let's take a look. Look at those anemones growing. I'm so excited. I think I even see a bloom. Yep. So we're supposed to actually get up into the 70s for a day or two next week, so I'll have to remove these row covers. Most of these have 2 covers over the top of it because we were down into the like 10s, like 10, 11 degrees last week, and most of my cool flowers can do okay down to like 25 or so, 28, but not all of them. And I need to replace this one because it's just ripped all to hell. But I have anemones down here and a few ranunculus. There are ranunculus under this row cover. I'm not going to pull it off just yet. There's dahlia tubers I left in the soil. I usually don't lift my dahlia tubers. That's something I want to do in the future. I tried to do that last year and they molded over the winter and I lost them all. So no, I don't know if these survived the winter months though, just because our ground did freeze. So we'll see in the spring. Yes, you see scraps. It's a great way to fertilize your garden. Old tomatoes, apples, eggshells, which I need to crush those. Great way to fertilize your garden. Think I'm weird, but it works. This bed is full of tulips These were the last tulips I planted, so they'll probably be some of the last ones to come up. But this bed's full of tulips. This back half, tulips. And as you can see, I have some coming up. Underneath here are snapdragons, and stock. I'm not gonna lift those covers because they were a pain in the butt to get down. And this is the new bed I built out of scrap wood. And as you can see, we have lots of little tulips coming up here. These are the very first ones I planted this season, so no surprise that they're coming up. Yay! Well, so you see kind of what my goals for 2025 are. I'm gonna work hard at it and we'll see how far we get. I'm hoping and praying though that just dreams come true. And you've had a little tour of the garden back here. I'll take you out to the field next week when I go out there to do some work. For right now, I'm gonna take my freshly cut rosemary. I love rosemary. Take my freshly cut rosemary in to use in a recipe, and I'm gonna let you guys go. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, please do so. And I would absolutely love to know what you would love to see when it comes to social media content and videos up here on YouTube. So put in the comments below, go to my Facebook or my Instagram channels or pages and put your thoughts there, things that you would like to see me post and share up here about the flower farm. Once again, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a blessed day. Please come back to see me again.